Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Go Beans. So this is TrailSynth. It is a project that I developed with my colleague Ethan Summers for our WebGS class this past fall semester. And it's a, as it says, real-time randomized route generation for runners. So Ethan and I's objective was to, we're both pretty casual runners, and we want to build something that encourages us to run. So we want to run a new route every day, as well as we want to allow users to select a location to run anywhere in continental US. And we want to generate an approximate 5-mile loop. So just a randomized 5-mile loop. And along with that, we want a directions list. I don't want to get lost, which is pretty good, I think. And we want something that lists the exact mileage of the route, so we know how much we've ran. So to start off, we looked at what exists right now. What can we compare this to? What can we take lessons from in developing this? And the best thing that we found was Strava's heat map. And this is a map of basically every single user logged run and where it goes and the mileage. And we noticed that it was cool getting to view others' routes, but we wanted the user to be more in control. So to start off, we looked at data sources. Where can we find this data that we can use to make this running algorithm? And we looked and found the city of Charlotte. Their open data portal has a greenways layer. We're like, oh yeah, that's great, safe place to run. Won't get run over by cars. So we're like, we want to prioritize this. And thus, we downloaded this from the City of Charlotte Open Data Portal and implemented it into a web feature service layer in ArcGIS Online. And through this, we were able to upload it and get a link that we can use in our API implementation. Along with that, we had to figure out the challenge of routing. We wanted to find something that allows us to route using pedestrian footpaths, not just like going along roads, but something that will allow us to access this greenways layer. And so for that, we found the Open Route Service developed by the Heidelberg Institute for Geotechnical Information in Germany, which has a robust offering with car routes, bus routes, pedestrian routes, and through this, we are able to focus on the pedestrian profile of this. So here is the workflow for the web map developing. So we started off by initializing the map and UI. So just saying, hey, there's going to be a map here. There's going to be UI here. Great. That's the first step. Then we decided, how are we going to add this UI to the map? How are we going to add the title and title blocks? And developed that along with our legend UI, so we can see the greenways. Along with that, we then went into developing a way to handle user map clicks. So when the user clicks on the map, we want like haptic feedback. We want to be able to see that, hey, we clicked here. Starting here, it's a start point, like Google Maps. From there, with that start point, we asked the API for our route geometry. And it'll feed us back this loop. So with this loop, we can create, oh fun. There we go, cool beans. We can create stops around the start point. And with these stops, these are randomized locations that will help us form the routing loop. And with that, then we display the loop. Pretty similar to Google Maps, point A to point B. We are displaying that. And then from there, we're displaying the distance and directions menu. So we display all of the locations that you'll be going to and how far it is to each one. And that is the map. So base implementation for Charlotte Greenways, this is a little nerdy, but this is the code that I wrote for using the feature service layer. And so we're just accessing it from this site on ArcGIS Online that I uploaded. And the title greenways, so we're importing it as greenways, and we're adding it to the map. Alongside that, another great implementation was for our open route service. So this is the body of how we're requesting these GeoJSON strings from the open route service that its API uses. And within this, we're allowed to have our start points. We have our longitude, latitude of the start point, because that's how it interprets it. And we specify the profile for foot walking and the format for GeoJSON. Because GeoJSONs are great for web app development. They're pretty robust and light. Then we have our route generation. This is for creating the random stops. So we have our offset X and Y from the start point to create basically a loop around this point. And there's a whole bunch of nerdy math stuff. So how does this actually work in display? So this is our greenways layer. You can see in the upper right-hand or upper left-hand corner, we have our legend, and it has our display label with the icon, and it's toggleable. So you can see it at this scale. This is the university, and you can also see it at the city scale. So this is our entire greenway network, able to be turned off and on with the click of a button. Along with this, every time that we access this map, we have a web feature service query sent to ArcGIS, and this allows us to monitor use cases and how often this is being used. So the other night, I was testing this at 1 a.m., and as one does, and I ended up querying 1,090 results. And every single one of these map loading loads up 5 of these for each of the points. And then, for more UI, directions. So directions, we wanted to display total mileage, and we wanted to display where the next road is going to be, the direction in which you need to head in order to get there, and the distance in miles. So this is a pretty standard route. Once it resets, yeah, 4.69 miles, and it's about 70 steps. So it's a lot of like right, left, west, and essentially is like Google Maps to ensure that you don't get lost. And here is the Charlotte generation. So this is over in McAlpine. We have a McAlpine Greenway, and I wanted to show that we can generate it, and it'll go along this purple greenways layer and prioritize that. And you can see the directions right here. So we generate, and it goes pretty much straight along that. And to show other use case, we ended up doing this over by Freedom Park. There is the Sugar Creek Greenway, and I wanted to show that this will generate for this greenway as well and follow that path. And then I was like, hey, why don't I do this for the conference? Like, I want to run here. That would be pretty cool. So I came to the conference. We're like somewhere over here. I was like, make me a route that is vaguely over here. And it made me a route that is vaguely over here, as one does. Yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, difficulties that we ran into. The distance selection was definitely one. It's really, really, really hard to get a random algorithm to be like 5 miles. Since we're going through an external routing algorithm, it tends to end up being like 4.69, 4.7, or like 6.2. And over time, I'd like to hone in on this and make it so that it is essentially exact. Along with that, we had some redundant queuing issues. So I played around with adding more stops. Currently, this is using a 5-stop module, one for each mile. and generating random points, so it's taking you like to point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, approximately 5 miles. And so I started adding more points, trying to get more definition within this, like more of a circular object. And that did not go so well. Broke a lot. And so if I were to redo this, I would definitely focus on that. Along with routing problems. If you use certain routing algorithms, they're designed for cars. And I did not know that at first. So I just started making stuff with OpenStreetMaps and their routing algorithms, but theirs are designed more so for the vehicle. And so through iteration, I found the Open Routing Service, which has the specific footway profile. Along with that, it was hard when using these vehicular routes to learn that it doesn't really prioritize greenways as well. So we wanted to create something that allows us to prioritize these more green spaces, as well as no safety priority, which in turn feeds into there. And for future proofing, what I'd like to work on for future updates is making a user-generated route length so the user can say, hey, I don't feel like 5 miles today. I want to do 2 miles. As well as more prioritization for greenways, being able to import those systems from other cities' GIS maps. Also, I'd like to work with the Strava API to allow it to prioritize local routes and prioritize the heat map when determining a random route. So that way, it's not just, oh yeah, I'm following the Strava every day, but hey, I can click this, and then it will follow a Strava route. And then I would also like to convert this to more of a mobile standard, so that way I can use this on my phone and not just an HTML script. It's a little bit embarrassing carrying around a laptop while you run everywhere. With that, any questions? Yes, sir.
How about exporting GPX file you can load it into this device or
Oh, for like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be great. I haven't thought about biking. That's definitely something that I'd like to add in future updates. Yeah. So like speech to text almost? Oh, that'd be a great idea. Thank you. Any other questions? Is there a historical thing to keep track of all the different routes that you run? Currently, no, there is not, but you can save history in this. I developed this with the idea of something new every day. I didn't really want to track my progress per se, but if I were to develop user profiles, absolutely you could do that, and that would be pretty easily done.
So let's say you're starting from your dorm room every day,
Mm-hmm.
coming like 5 miles every day. When you hit it, does it actually generate truly a new route for you, or is it actually sent to like seeing the same, because you're starting at the same point, is it giving you the same?
No, it's sending different API requests, so it's sending a different randomized route. So every time you click, it's a different generation of that along the 5 miles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I start my morning run from my house, and I will click like my driveway every single morning, and I will just follow that. How do you? Have I had a favorite run that has taken me on? Generally, I like to go on campus and do like a greenway run. If I do that, then it's a lot more scenic and less predisposed to running into traffic. Generally, it depends on the area that you're starting from, but I would say the Toby Creek Greenway at UNC Charlotte, that is a great place to go. How many times have I run into traffic? Quite a lot. My neighborhood. Yeah, that is the downside of this so far, and I would like to make it Well, actually, a future idea is implementing Google Maps traffic API and therefore going to areas with low traffic. Great suggestion.
You use it. I don't know if Charlotte has it, but you can use a level of stress. Like if they've done a level of stress on the road network, then you
Mhm.
can also incorporate that in the Google API.
Yeah, that would be great. I haven't found any like road stress metrics as to like long-term Google Maps, like where is the most traffic within Charlotte, but that would be great, especially if it was oriented from like a pedestrian standpoint. Any other questions? Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, my LinkedIn is there. You can reach out to me there if you have any questions or ideas for development. Thank you so much.